It's safe to say that the video game industry is raking in some serious cash, pulling in hundreds of billions of dollars annually. A big chunk of that comes from microtransactions and mobile games, but traditional game sales still hold a crucial spot in the booming market. The top-selling game franchises have moved hundreds of millions of copies over the years, bringing in billions for their publishers and developers. It's no surprise that the most beloved game series are the ones that have been around the longest. The longer they stick around, the more sequels and spin-offs we get to enjoy. Here's a list of the 10 best-selling video game franchises ever. Number 10, Lego. While there have been a couple of big standout hits, the real success of LEGO video games comes from their sheer volume rather than any one single title's genius. Since the early 2000s, over 100 LEGO games have been released, covering everything from cheesy mobile apps to big-name licensed games tied to some of the biggest franchises out there. Altogether, LEGO games are believed to have sold over 200 million copies, with a large chunk of that coming from licensed titles. Some of their top performers include LEGO Star Wars, LEGO Indiana Jones, and LEGO Batman, which together have sold more than 50 million units over the years.
Tell them to send everything they've got.
Number 9, The Sims. It's pretty amazing that The Sims have hit over 200 million sales, especially considering that there are only 4 main games in the series. Just a heads up though, this number likely includes all the expansion packs that have come out over the years. And The Sims 4 is still adding on to that with the 14 expansions so far. When it comes to top-selling games in the franchise, The Sims 4 took the lead with over 20 million players by the end of 2020, making it the most popular game in the series. The original game follows in second place with around 11 million copies sold, while the other two titles together have sold about 13 million. Go Sims. Number 8, Assassin's Creed. It's pretty impressive that Assassin's Creed has sold over 200 million units since its launch in 2007, especially considering most of the top-selling video game franchises have been around for a lot longer. The series has kept up a steady pace, on average releasing one new game each year, including spin-offs since the original Assassin's Creed hit the scene. When we look at the best-selling titles in the franchise, there are a few that stand out. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag has moved about 15 million copies, and in early 2022, Ubisoft announced that Assassin's Creed Valhalla had raked in over $1 billion in revenue. Still, it's a bit murky about how much came of that from DLC and microtransactions. Still, very impressive. Number 7, Minecraft. Minecraft isn't just one of the top-selling video game franchises ever, it's also one of the best-selling games out there. A huge chunk of its impressive sales, around $250 million, come from the iconic sandbox game. And let's not forget Minecraft Dungeons, which has pulled in about 10 million players also. With such massive success, it's no surprise that Microsoft shelled out a whopping $2.5 billion to buy Mojang back in 2014. While that sounds like a hefty price tag, considering the series has raked in over $3 billion from game sales alone, most people would probably say it was a smart investment.
This adventure.
Number 6, FIFA. It's pretty wild to think that North Americans are still just getting into football, or soccer, yet EA's FIFA series has been a massive hit. For nearly 30 years, the franchise dropped new games on multiple platforms every year, racking up over 325 million in sales, mostly from fans in Europe and South America. The top seller, FIFA 18, which moved over 26 million copies. There are actually more than 10 FIFA titles that cross the 10 million sales mark, so it is pretty clear how they could hit those crazy numbers. But after EA couldn't strike a new deal with the organization that gave the series its name, they had to rebrand as EA Sports FC in 2023. Number 5, Grand Theft Auto. Rockstar Games really seem to have the magic touch, with nearly everything they create turning into a massive hit. It all kicked off with the Grand Theft Auto series, which started off pretty modestly back in the late 90s, but has since exploded into one of the biggest gaming franchises out there. GTA 5 is an incredible game that many people consider to be the best in the last 10 years. Still, it faces tough competition from other major titles. A huge chunk of the series' over 400 million sales can be linked to its fifth installment, with GTA 5 selling more than 185 million copies globally since it first dropped about a decade ago. Just to put that in perspective, that's more than double what the first 4 mainline GTA games sold combined. Number 4, Call of Duty. After fending off tough rivals like Medal of Honor and Battlefield, Call of Duty has established itself as the king of the multiplayer first-person shooter games. It's no surprise that this success has translated into massive sales, with the franchise selling over 425 million units since it first launched in 2003. Among the 12 Call of Duty games that have surpassed the 10 million mark, Call of Duty Black Ops stands out with a remarkable 30.72 million copies sold. Following closely are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 at 30.71 million and Call of Duty Black Ops 2 at 29.59 million, showcasing just how powerful COD was during its peak and how popular it still is today. Number 3, Pokemon. Since it kicked off in 1996, Pokemon has raked in over $88 billion, making it the top grossing media franchise ever by a huge margin. If this were a list of most successful or richest franchises, Pokemon would be number 1 easily. However, it doesn't quite hit the mark as the best-selling franchise on video games alone, as the games only make up a small slice of the franchise's total earnings. Overall, Pokemon has sold more than 480 million units, with the original Gen 1 games contributing about 31 million of those. Pokemon Sword and Shield are in second place with 25 million copies sold, while Gold and Silver snagged the third spot with 23 million. Interestingly enough, Scarlet and Violet with almost 21 million in sales are not far behind and are likely to break into the top 3 soon.
Research the Pokemon of this region.
Tetris 99.
Number 2, Tetris. Yes, I'm surprised too. But with all the re-releases and the fact that Tetris was often included with the original Game Boy, it's no wonder that the game has sold over 70 million physical copies over the years. But what might catch some people off guard is its success as a paid mobile app, with reports indicating that even by 2014, over 425 million people had bought it for their phones. This not only solidifies Tetris as one of the top-selling puzzle games ever, but it places it among the most beloved video game franchises out there. Its straightforward yet captivating gameplay has stood the test of time, and innovative versions like Tetris Effect have kept it in the spotlight.
Hack back to defeat the other 98 players and become the sole survivor.
Number 1, Mario. It's no shocker that Mario holds the title for best-selling video game franchise ever. With a whopping 832 million units sold and counting, it far outpaced its closest rival, thanks in part to a bunch of super popular spin-offs like Mario Kart, Mario Party, and Mario Sports. These 3 alone have racked up over 290 million in sales, but the real cash cow is the main Super Mario series. Games like Super Mario Bros. 40.4 million and New Super Mario Bros. 30.8 million are top sellers, but the crown goes to Mario Kart 8, which has sold more than 65 million copies. It's the oldest game on the list, but it is the king for a reason. And that's the list of the top 10 best-selling video game franchises. Which are some of your favorites, and are there any that you think can eventually challenge for the number 1 spot or even make it on this list? What's a game franchise that you love that didn't crack the top 10? Let me hear about it down in the comments. Thanks a lot for watching, liking, and or commenting on this video, as it really helps keep me motivated, and if you subscribe, you'll never miss out on the next video, which drops weekly. Thanks again for stopping by, and take care.